Hey, Miss Gideon here. I'm going to show you a quick little lesson about Unit 1, Lesson 2 in our math curriculum. So, a quick review. Definitions, as I told you, are very important. Acute is an angle that is measured between 0 and 90. So, it has to be less than 90 degrees. So, this case here is an acute because we know a 90 degrees looks like this. It's a perpendicular. So that can not be greater than that. So acute angle. So we'll just say that this could possibly be 25 degrees. It's an acute because 25 is less than 90. Obtuse. Obtuse, I just think large, obtuse. Sometimes I think obese, if you know that word means it's large. So that means it's going to be greater than 90 degrees, greater than 90 degrees. So I could possibly, if I were naming that, say that this was 125 degrees because the angle is greater than 90. And as you hopefully know, right angles are equal to 90 degrees. Their measure is 90 degrees. A lot of times you'll see a box like that. When you see that box, that means it's 90 degree angle. So with the definitions, I hope that helps. A few more definitions. A straight angle. A straight angle measures 180 degrees. This angle here is 180 degrees. It's a straight line, and it's also called, this angle would be a straight angle because a straight line is 180 degrees. Complementary angles, they form 90 degrees. So in other words, if this was x and this is y, if I added the measure of x and y, they gave me numbers, it would have to equal 90 degrees. So that's going to help us find any missing thing. We'll come back to that. And then finally, supplementary angles. Supplementary angles, so I'll say that this angle is A, this angle is B, and if I add them, that was a bad B, sorry about that. This angle is B. If I add the two, add them to, if I have A and I add the measure of B, it has to equal 180 degrees. So straight line and supplement are both 180 degrees. That's your magic number. Complementary, you need to think is like a right angle. When you add them up, it has to equal 90 degrees. So let's look examples that you're going to see something like this, something similar to this. So I can see that this angle here forms the whole thing, forms a 90 degrees because of that box. It tells me that that has to equal 90 degrees. So if I had to find the value of x, I'm going to take what I know. I know that 68 degrees is one of them. And I've got an x here. So I also know if I add that, whatever that is, it's going to have to equal 90 because that's what the definition of complementary is, 90 degrees. To solve this, we did this last semester, you're going to subtract 68 from both sides. You want to get x by itself. So these cancel out, and I have x equals 90 minus 68. So let's see, that's borrow 8, so that's 22 degrees. So the value of x here is 22 degrees, because if I add them together, it's going to equal 90. If you need to hear that again, rewind the video and go from there. So these directions says write an equation and find the value of x. Well, I have a straight line here, right? And what's the magic number for straight lines? I can hear you say, or supplementary, is 180. Well, I know I have a 100 here already, plus I don't know what the value of x is, but I know it has to equal 180 degrees. So doing that, I need to get, that was a bad x, I need to get x by itself. To undo a positive 100, I have to subtract 100 from both sides. These cancel out, and I have x equals 180 minus 100 is 80 degrees. So I know that the value of x is 80. Rewind and watch again if you didn't get it. And then also you need to know about adjacent angles. Adjacent angles means next to. Adjacent means next to. So next door neighbors, next to. They're touching each other. So in this case here, I can see that angle C, the measure of angle C, is adjacent to angle D. So angle C is adjacent because they share the same ray. If they share the same ray or the same line, and then that means they're touching. Angle C touches the purple line, angle D touches the purple line. So they're adjacent. Vertical angles. Now, angles formed by two intersecting lines that are opposite. Vertical angles are always congruent. It means that they have the same measure, same size, same shape. And here's a symbol for congruent. I'm going to put it over here with the definition. It's an equal with a wavy line on top. So I have vertical lines A and B here, right? So I can say that whatever the measure of A is going to be the same as or equal to the measure of angle B. So if A is 45 degrees, let me erase some of this stuff. If A is 45 degrees, this angle here is 45 degrees. What is the measure of B? Well, they're vertical. They share the same vertex, so the B has to be 45 degrees as well. So the measure of angle A is the same as measure of B, vice versa. And then congruent angles. Congruent angles, they're the same measure. So if I tell you that Y is 80 degrees, and I ask you what the measure of angle X is, you can say 80 degrees because congruent angles are the same. So this is X degrees is congruent to Y degrees. Let me make that symbol a little bit neater for you. Okay, it's congruent to Y degrees. So there's some definitions. I hope they're helping you. And you'll see this example. What is the angle adjacent to AFB? All right, a lot of students I find don't know how to interpret this or how to write or find angle AFB. So what you do is you put your pencil on point A and you trace it to the letter F, and then you trace it to the letter B. And then I put an arc over it. So there's the angle that I'm talking to right here, this angle right here. So what is adjacent? What does adjacent mean? It's touching or next to. So let's see what we can find here. Find the angle DCF. I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I will show you those really quick. So if I go D, I follow it to F and C. Is this angle adjacent to? Is that angle, are they sharing the same line? Or is it angle EDF? I put my pencil on E, trace it to F and D. Is this angle touching, sharing the same line? They have to share a same line or same ray. So now you're going to continue on and look and see what these are. I'm going to show you and you can make your own conclusion here. So let's move on to angle EFC. I'm going to erase that. So E, put your pencil on E, trace it to the letter F, go up to C. Are they sharing the same line? Touching lines. Are they the same? And then if you think that's it, or you can check the last one, AEF. So I put A, pencil on A, FE, FE. So does AFE and angle AFB share the same line? You make your call here. If you were paying attention, I kind of gave you an answer there. Shares the same line. And in geometry, you may not like it, but you have to draw pictures. Sketch them out on your screen. And then the final one, you have two questions. It says, name the vertical angle to TPQ. So I'm going to show you the angle TPQ. TPQ. Remember, you start with your pencil, go to the middle one, and that's the angle I'm talking about. So which one is vertical? Vertical lines share the same vertex. So whatever angle is going to share that same vertex. You look at those and find that out. And then the final question over here is, what is the measure of URPU? So they're telling you angle UPT. So I'm going to erase this and give you the UTP over here. UTP is 40 degrees. So remember, put your pencil on U, go to P, and then to T. This is 48 degrees. So what is the measure of RPU? Okay, here's your hint, guys. These two form a straight line. So whatever 48 degrees plus x equals 180 degrees. Solve it for x. There's your help. I hope this is helpful. And I'm Miss Gideon. Have a good day. Miss Gideon.